You preach all the time about, you know, the next guy being ready to play, and sure enough, your first game, you have that opportunity for Gunner. How did you like, you know, how he handled himself?
Oh, I tell you what, I was so proud of Gunner. You know, he came in and first pass, you know, they had a situation where they had brought a backer late, and he got hit right in the side of the head and threw a strike right down the field. And he really had a really good drive the whole way through. Had one bad pass in that process, and then they went 0 on him, and he threw a strike for a touchdown. You can't ask for you know, a guy that's been working so hard for his opportunity to go in there and go compete and go do such a great job.
You guys rep 2-minute drill all the time. Is that something he's excelled at out here too?
He has, and so has Terry. So it's been one of those situations. Again, you know, Coach Stoops has put us in those situations, and we got put it in again, and it was fun to go watch us go down there and go put the ball in the end zone. And again, Terry's situation, again, he had thrown the interception before that, and again, the turnover, we were leading almost into a 2-minute drive, and he turned around and throws the interception. So exact negative of a situation that we have to learn from. And then what a great situation, Gunner coming in and being able to go get us in the end zone.
Before Saturday, we talked a lot about how those guys didn't have any experience. Well, now they've got a little experience, but never in an atmosphere like what's going to happen on Saturday. Is there anything you can do to prepare them for that?
Yeah, like today we did crowd noise. We already started doing that, so they won't be able to hear all during practice, and that's a normal situation. And again, you're right, it's hard to prepare for that environment. But again, you know, we've been preaching since Sunday. You know, we've been going through all what's going to happen at Florida. I've coached there many times, and again, it's the swamp. So they got to be ready. It's going to be adversity, being on the road, and they got to go produce when their number's called.
Is there a lot, like, I know generally there's a lot of hand signals, stuff like that, but how much more do you have to do that when you're on the road compared to like a home game?
Well, for sure on the offensive side of the ball, because obviously the crowd noise is so much higher. The communication with the offensive line is huge, and you've got to be able to use some more hand signals, some different things, so that you can communicate with each other what's going on. And then with wideouts, make sure that you know that you're doing the same thing there. So again, we've been working. And I told the quarterbacks, absolutely, there's no yelling at practice whatsoever. Meaning they have to every time they talk to anybody at practice, it's a whisper. And I go, that's what it's going to sound like in the game. So let's act like it, even if don't have crowd noise in a deal. If you have to go talk to Lynn, you whisper to Lynn the whole time, and it again simulates what a game's going to be like.
I think your guys used last year's game as motivation.
Well, you know, of course, it was a game where we went in and fought our tails off, and unfortunately we came up a little bit short, and it hurt. You know, our team hurt from that, and they had played really, put ourselves in a position to win, and we didn't come out ahead. So again, we've got a lot of motivation to go out there and go play.
Did you grow up a Florida fan?
I did. I grew up a Gator fan. You know, I was in Punta Gorda, Florida, and you either root for Florida State, Miami, or Florida, and I was a Florida fan. So growing up.
Did they recruit you? Did they look at you at all?
I did. Yeah, I was recruited by Florida. At the time, Galen Hall was the head coach, and then Spurrier had came in, actually signed Terry Dean, who was my rival quarterback in high school. So I was a little miffed when Spurrier took Terry Dean and not me, but at the same time, I went through the recruiting process, and I loved going to UCF, so it was a great experience.
So you've held a grudge against Spurrier in Florida ever since?
No. I'm actually really good friends with her family. So
really?
Yeah, very good friends. So.
As an offensive guy, I mean, with Spurrier, I mean, what did you think of what he was able to do there, especially from an offensive standpoint, just as a former quarterback and now quarterback's coach?
Oh, I mean, Steve Spurrier, obviously, he did a fantastic job throwing the ball around, and you know, he went and won a lot of football games there and won SEC championships, and I mean, it was just phenomenal what he did, and you know, he's a legend because of that.
It's a pretty good.
For a quarterback to be working with an offensive line that was pretty much set up until maybe 10 days ago. So yeah, how different is it?
Well, I tell you, it's just like anything. You have to adapt, and you adapt to the situation. The good thing is we've been rotating quarterbacks with the 1s and 2s, so they've been rotating with all those different receivers, centers, tackles, guards, and Coach Thurman does an unbelievable job of, you know, if this guy goes down, who's playing next? If this guy goes down, who's playing next? And so he's constantly rotating guys. So there was a little bit, of course, and we were sad to see that Landon wasn't going to play this season, but we were ready to go. And again, we're going to adapt, and we got to be ready if another injury happens.